I'm Dr. Rick Janelle with the Shillington Church of Christ, and I want to talk to you today about the importance of Easter to Christians. Psalm 34, verse 8 says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him." As most people know, Easter is the time of year when we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Let me try to give you some reasons why it's important. Number one, the risen Jesus restores our brokenness. There's something renewing, there's something restorative, there's something important internally that goes on when people find that their sins have been forgiven and that their brokenness, the pain of their past, the mistakes of their past, have been redeemed into something more useful. Number two, Jesus provides faith to settle our doubts. Now this seems counterintuitive to someone who's never experienced it, but there's something about an experience with Jesus Christ that settles doubts that nothing else can. We can question the validity of the life, death, and burial and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We can argue about whether it should or shouldn't have any effect in our life today, but unless we've experienced it, it's hard to understand. For some reason, deciding that you want to serve Jesus, deciding that you want to change your life, the very decision, the very act of making that decision changes things for you. And the problem for many people is they haven't made that decision yet. They're toying with it, they're playing with it, they want to make it, they're thinking about making it, but they haven't just made it. It's like the difference between sticking your toe in the pool and just diving headfirst into the cold water. Many people are afraid to make that dive, and they never experience the faith that comes from just doing it. And the just doing of it settles many of the doubts and fears that we have. Number three, Jesus gives peace to settle our fears. The Bible talks about a peace that passes understanding. And what is meant by that is it's not understandable. There are times in our lives when service to God fills us with a hope that doesn't make sense. We can't explain it to others. We can't prove it to others. It doesn't sound reasonable or rational. And to someone who's not tasted it for themselves, someone who's not experienced it for themselves, they scratch their heads and they say, "I don't get it. I don't understand." That's the point. Jesus brings us peace that passes understanding. Number four, Jesus helps us conquer our struggles. It seems that everyone on the planet, young, old, rich, or poor, we all struggle. We all have things that we wrestle with, things in our lives that are not smooth, that are not good, that are not what we want them to be. Serving Jesus in our struggles is what makes our struggles worthwhile. And if you've never experienced this, if you've never tried it, if you've never been a part of having the terrible things in your life redeemed and restored and made to be meaningful, this makes no sense to you. But if you're a follower of Jesus, it makes sense. Number five, Jesus helps us when we're overwhelmed. One of the things he taught was, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. I'll give you rest. My yoke is easy. My burden is light." There is a burden to following Jesus. It's not all peaches and cream. But compared to any other kind of life, there is no comparison. Compared to any other kind of life, the burden is not as big a burden. The burden is not as crippling a burden. So whatever you're facing today, I've got great news for you. I truly believe that there is a God in heaven. I truly believe that Jesus Christ was his son. I truly believe that he died and was buried and was raised from the dead, not just for me, but for you too. And if you've not tasted to see if this is good, if you don't know for yourself whether this is true, you owe it to yourself to find out. And so I encourage you to visit with us sometime soon, especially this coming Easter. Taste and see if the Lord is good.